Hey, everybody, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We are in our fifth and final episode in the series, Why Won't These Peaking Myths Just Die? We're going to talk about the final contest day machinations, things that coaches do that they think are going to be helpful that probably aren't, but maybe there's some value if you need a certain thing. So as I mentioned in our last episode, this particular coach, of whom I received a peak week plan. And by the way, Adam, these things get passed around. Like, when you create a peak week plan for somebody and whatever, they're sharing it with a friend or showing, here's what my coach has me do. And then if a client leaves you, they may just send it to another coach just because they want to see, like, this is my history of what I've done in the past. So I totally know that mine have been passed around as well. So anyway, this person, as I said, has things like no dose. Just almost every matter of fact, every hour, take one no dose. You're going to take dandelion root. You're still doing that. The only food that this person has on their contest day is, let me read this to you right here. Oh, you're also taking antihistamines, by the way. I think those are kind of throughout the last. Yeah, you take them the last 3 days, you're taking an antihistamine, and that's something that we can chat about, Adam, if you think there's any value. They're increasing the amount of those over-the-counter expel type supplements. Again, only sip water if you need it. And meal 1, 2, and 3, you're going to have either 40 grams of peanut butter or rice cakes. Just in indeterminate amount, I guess. So that's all you get. If you're hungry, have a rice cake, have a little peanut butter. That's the only coaching this person got for their peak week. So, wow. Then other things to have on hand: lollipops, salt and vinegar chips, rice cakes, peanut butter, bananas, and some kind of like a hydration thing. I don't know if that's the brand name of a sports drink, or like we would have Pedialyte, something like that. But that's basically it. So all of those things are going to be the magic to make it happen. Antihistamines, apparently you're shitting your brains out because you've been taking laxatives all week long at this point. And so I guess that helps somehow. So anyway, what do you think about that, Adam? Tell me why somebody would take no dose. By the way, no dose, is this 1980? Like, who's still
Yeah,
is that? By
I've I've never even heard of that, to be honest.
It's
So
what you would get at gas stations, like before energy drinks and so forth existed. Like,
yeah,
this truck drivers would get at gas stations. Anyway, so you're doing that every hour. You're doing tons of the dandelion root based expel type supplements, and then you're going to have 150 milliliters of red wine, 45 minutes before stage, and 10 minutes before stage, a shot of vodka. So go through all these things. Why am I doing all this, Adam? Why am I taking antihistamines more and more and more and more, potassium, and having no water, but I can have wine and vodka, and then I may need some of these other things. What is in this coach's head?
yeah, I couldn't even tell you. And I think they just want to micromanage this person to the point that they think their plan is really specific and a good plan. We see that a lot with just even general coaching with tracking biomarkers that aren't even necessary at the time that people get their coaching plan. But in this case, the biggest, maybe the best thing I hear is the wine and the vodka, not necessarily because it's going to do anything magical, but finally, this person's getting some dang fluids before they go on stage. So at that point, they probably will feel finally a little bit vascular and, maybe finally not thirsty.
And then
But
just drunk enough to not feel the pain
right.
of looking your
So
literal worst on contest day.
I actually have a short video coming out on this. Is that, the wine peak is essentially what makes a lot of people vascular. And yeah, there is niacin in it, but in all of these peaking plans, I see wine given and people feel vascular. It's because they didn't have water all day.
That's
So it's really the fluid from the wine
You're exactly
versus
right.
the wine doing anything.
And interestingly, the caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. So you're trying to get vascular, and you're constricting your veins as you're taking no dose every hour on the hour, 2, as a matter of fact, when you wake up. Again, this is just somebody who doesn't have a fucking clue what physiology is, and it's risking more harm, as I said it in many previous series, as well as this particular series. This is how people die of heart failure, because blood pressure's low, and they're taking mineral reversal action into their cells, including the heart wall, the muscular part of the heart. And you're just gonna look your absolute worst when you're dehydrated and you've taken every opportunity to even have a little bit of hydration in the muscle tissue. This wouldn't actually take that many fixes to make well, right? Like, you could just keep hydration there, get rid of the laxatives, and don't overload the potassium. You could use that to stay stable. Give this person an appropriate level of food on contest day, and it's not that far off. But the 3 or 4 elements here that are so critically bad can screw up the whole thing.
Yeah. And this coach either got this plan from someone else, or,
Totally agree.
that's what happens. And this is why it's really important that a coach can explain, if you have concerns or questions. And I'd be asking a lot of questions as an athlete if I got a plan like this.
I'm glad you brought that up. That was one of my thoughts. This is so generically 1960s based. 90% of this is just what people have always done, which is the failure point in bodybuilding peaking. The things that are new, to your point, is that it's so laid out on spreadsheets, just point by point by point. On this hour, do this. On this hour, do this. And that's the sexiness. Like, that's why this is the kind of thing that gets passed around in my hands. The specificity is so alluring that people think, wow, this guy must be a scientist. He must have the magic, secret here that's going to make this all work. And it's just somebody who's parroting other people and has no clue. And I guarantee you this coach could not answer one single thing of why they're doing this, because it wouldn't even make sense.
Mm-hmm. You can have so much specificity that you miss things. The power went out at the show I was at this weekend, and I just looked around. I was like, look at all these people with plans versus getting coached. I had my people stop pumping up. Hey, who knows how long this could take to get the power back on. And, everyone else is still going until that power hopefully comes on.
Well, as one final point, and I'll bounce off what you just said. What makes me angry about this is that not only do people die, which I couldn't get more angry than that. People put their trust in coaches like this. They spend money. They spend 6 months of just ass busting work, and then on contest day they get something like this that makes the whole thing fall apart. And it's just it's awful. It's why 30 years after I began this, I'm still here trying to find reasons why this stuff even still exists. It's beyond me. Like, if this coach really wanted to have a great business, wouldn't you want your clients to look good? And I don't know. It's beyond me. I just don't get it.
Yeah. And stuff like this is kind of what makes Peak Week a big deal. Because honestly, a lot of people would be better off doing their 1 week out, protocol versus this. And then, there's just so many people with bad experiences on this. And like you said, deaths especially. So if this coach, if he took this plan from someone else and a Shelby Starnes plan hits his desk, he's going to kill somebody and not know why.
Yep. Well, I guess I can never retire, apparently, Adam. I thought we'd have fixed all this by now, but we'll keep going. And that just means more Contest Prep University series. So maybe there's a silver lining.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, we will see you next time in Contest Prep University.